In this video, I'm going to be going over the best lineups to be running for this week's Triple Threat Park to be getting you guys that Signature Series Invincible event piece. If you guys didn't know, today on Sunday, as I'm recording this video and as you guys are seeing this video, in the Triple Threat Park, I can't really go into it because it does play some music in the background and I don't want to get copyrighted by 2K, but as you guys will probably know today, you guys saw my video yesterday if you did, and you guys will just see if you go in the Triple Threat Park, if you win 5 games in a row, you go on a 5-game win streak, you are going to get an Invincible event piece for completely free. The highest tier event piece in the game, the one that you use towards obviously Kevin Durant, and the one that you can break down into like 200 overall pieces, you can break down into like 6 Dark Matters, you can break down into a ton of Galaxy Opals. So there's a lot you can do with this piece, and everybody's going to be in the Triple Threat Park grinding today, and it does get really sweaty. There's a lot of great players. All the good players are going from like Showdown to going into Triple Threat Park. It gets really sweaty. And if you guys wanted to know the best lineups to be running, I wanted to make this video to help you guys out. I've seen some people in the comment section over the past couple weeks, and especially during the Bracket Busters Festival, asking me like to make a video going, over, I think someone is recommending me to just go over the best cards to use in Triple Threat Park, but I wanted to do something a little bit different and just go over different lineups you guys can run. I'll be talking about like what's the best lineup to run in the game, and then also talking about maybe for an expensive price, and then talking for like a kind of mid-tier price, and then talking about like what's a really good lineup to run for a budget price tag as well. So giving you guys a bunch of different lineup, kind of budgets to use. So if you guys only have like 50,000 MT, I'll give you guys a squad for that. If you maybe have like 200,000, 300, 500,000, I'll give you guys a squad for that, and it may be like a million MT. And then I'll be going over obviously just what is the best 3-man team to run in the Triple Threat Park. So if you guys have the God Squad, if you guys have the best team in the game, to give you guys those squads as well. So I want to be talking a lot about strategy in this video because you can kind of use that with your own squad. I think more so what I want to talk about than the cards is the actual strategy. Because for example, right, I'm on my boy Bounty's account. He's got like all the best cards in the game. He's got Kevin Durant, he's got Shea, right? He's got Wilt, he's got Tim Duncan, like he's got Chris Webber, he's got Jordan, like he's got the best team in the game, right? But a good, like not a great squad. Like this would be obviously a crazy offensive team, but like if I face 3 big men like Tim Duncan, maybe I verse like a Yao, or maybe, I mean, a Yao would obviously be crazy, but like this is one of the best teams you can run offensively, but you don't really have much height, and you don't really have much, like, I guess you have good defense because their stats are obviously crazy, but you don't have the height to really play defense against the taller defenders in this game. So what you kind of want to do is, for whatever budget you have, whatever price point that we're going to be talking about, you want to be structuring your lineup properly, having, in my opinion, one main ball handler, a card that you can score with. So for example, if we're talking about the best team in the game, we'd be talking about like Invincible Kevin Durant, right? He could be my main scorer. He's 6'10", so he's good height. He plays good defense. He's obviously 99 every single stat. He's got 12 legend badges. This card's obviously broken and ridiculous, but he's going to be that main card that I need to score the ball with. And then for example, if I want to go for a tall card that can play good defense, I could go for like Wilt Chamberlain, right? He can be my lockdown defender. A card that's 7'1", 8-foot wingspan. Again, positions don't matter. You can run 3 centers, you could run 3 point guards. It doesn't matter. So Wilt's going to be that secondary card. He's 7'1", he plays really good defense. And then for my tallest card, I could go for like a Zach Edey if I want to have a lot of height. Now Zach Edey is on the slower side, but I do think Wilt Chamberlain could definitely make up for it. So for example, if you had like Signature Series 100 overall Yao Ming, this in my opinion would probably be the best 3 to run, would be Kevin Durant, Wilt Chamberlain, and Yao. I think that's the best 3 cards in this game for the Triple Threat Park, but obviously I don't expect everybody to have that. So even if you have a really good team, you could for example go something like this, right? Let's say you have Jason Kidd, he can be your main scorer, he can be your main offensive card. Then let's say you want to put a lock next to him, right? Maybe we want to go for a Dark Matter AK-47. He's a really good card defensively, but he can also kind of be that secondary ball handler. That's sort of what I'm trying to get behind, is for a lot of the teams you want to run, unless you have the best team in the game, you want to kind of go for like, one card that's really good offensively, one card that's maybe more so there for defense, and then like just an overall absolute beast at the center position, just the tallest card you can find that has really good speed, that has a good jump shot, that plays really good defense. So if you don't have the best team in the game, but you have a really good team, you could probably run a lineup like this: Jason Kidd, AK-47, Kareem. Again, it's not maybe as much about the cards that I'm talking about, because let's say you don't have Jason Kidd, but you maybe have trying to think of a really good offensive point guard. There's not too many in the game, but let's say you have a defensive point guard like Magic, right? If you want to run Magic, for example, you can run Magic, but then you don't really want to run a lineup like this because you're not going to have much offense to score the ball. Yes, you're going to play really good defense. You have really good height, you know, across the board, 6'9", 6'9", and 7'2", but you don't have that primary shot creator. You don't have that primary ball handler. So then, for example, as your, like, I guess 2 guard or your second position here, your card that's going to score the ball, right? Maybe you go for a Pink Diamond Michael Beasley, right? He's going to be better than AK-47 for this specific team just because of the fact that he's a really good offensive card. He's got one of the best jump shots in this game, and he's one of just the best scorers in this entire game. But then you wouldn't want to put next to him, you know, an offensive guard like a John Wall, because then you're not going to have much defense here. Sure, you're going to have a lot of offense in your point guard and your kind of shooting guard, I guess, your wing, right? You're going to have a lot of, you know, scoring ability, but you're not going to have much defense, and you also don't have enough size, really, with John Wall only being 6'4". So the center position can kind of stay the same across the board. You just want a tall card that plays good defense and can hit a wide open jump shot and has speed to keep up with the faster centers in this game. So, you know, if we're talking about, like, maybe we're going down in price and we're not talking about those crazy expensive cards, if we're going for like a Pink Diamond Wemby, a Pink Diamond Beasley, and a Pink Diamond Dyson Daniels. I don't know if I have Dyson Daniels on this account, but he would be the card I would place in here. Do we have Dyson Daniels? I don't believe we do. But that Pink Diamond Dyson Daniels would be a great point guard to run next to Beasley and also next to Wemby as well. So just pretend that this was Dyson Daniels. Maybe I do have his diamond card. I think I do have his diamond card on Bounty's account here. So pretend this would be the, and I clicked on the wrong card, but if we go back to Diamond Dyson Daniels, pretend this was the Pink Diamond. We're kind of going down in price, but as you guys can see, the kind of strategy in the scheme is staying the same. You want to have one really good defensive card who's taller, if preferably. If you want to go Pink Diamond Stephon Castle, that's another card you can go with. I mean, maybe do we have him on this account? We have the Dark Matter, but obviously, again, I'm trying to talk about cheaper prices. I don't think we do, but for example, you know, if you want to go for Pink Diamond Zach LaVine as your really good offensive card, then you don't want to have Michael Beasley as well, just because, again, you're not going to have much defense between Beasley and Zach LaVine. So this team would score the ball really effectively, and maybe that's a strategy you want to go for, but you're not going to be able to get stops, and I do think you're really going to struggle. So maybe you want to go for like a defensive-minded small forward, and, you know, I'm trying to just find a card here on this account. Like, we'll just say Pink Diamond Rocco. This could be a better lineup, right? Because now you have Zach LaVine, Robert Covington, and Victor Wembanyama. Again, you have that really good defender in Rocco. You have that offensive card in Zach LaVine. This will probably be the players I run on my no money spent account. I'll probably go Opal, Zach LaVine, Rocco, and Wemby. That's most likely what I'm thinking about doing. So I'm trying to give you guys just different price points for each kind of, you know, tier. Now, if you want to go for a really budget price, again, I would still stick with that Pink Diamond Dyson Daniels. I think he's good enough defensively. I do think he's a really good card for his price tag, but then it's just like, what is a cheap offensive card? I don't know if there's really that many. Like, I guess you could probably go for like an AC Law. I do think this card, I mean, he is undersized. He's not going to play much defense. He's only 6'3", but if you pair him up with like a taller small forward, you know, like a Pink Diamond Jonathan Bender, you could go for something like that just to give you a bit more size. And then maybe like a Pink Diamond Eddie Curry could be your backup center, something like that. I think you potentially could run, or like a Kel'el Ware. You know, you could go something like that. You're not gonna have much defense, but again, I'm talking for like the budget squad. So just keep in mind, guys, when you're using your teams in Triple Threat Park, to make sure to have one really good offensive card that you can score the ball with. For example, would be AC Law, right? Or you could be talking about the more expensive cards, right? If you have a Shea, if you have a Jason Kidd, if you have a John Wall, right? Or it doesn't have to be a point guard. Like, you could just use no point guard and you could go for Brandon Roy. He could be your offensive card, right? And then your defensive small forward, it doesn't have to be a small forward. You could use a power forward. You know, you could go with like a Jaren Jackson Jr. He's your main defender, right? And then you go for that center card of like a Joel Embiid. Again, there's so many different lineups you can run. I'm not telling you guys the specific cards. You know, I'm giving you some cards that I would run, but it's more so about building your lineup properly with the proper strategy. One really good offensive card, one really good defensive card, preferably can also handle the basketball and score if you need to, because only having one good offensive card does kind of limit you offensively. So try to have that secondary ball handler, you know, your really good defender to also be a secondary ball handler, and then just make sure you have a tall center that can shoot with good speed and plays really good defense. That's all you pretty much need. So even like a Joakim Noah, he's not as tall, but he could probably do a job. Pink Diamond Porzingis is really good. Pink Diamond Wemby is obviously really good as well. So hopefully you guys found this video helpful. I know it's like a different video than I normally do on this channel, but I do hope you guys found it helpful, and it did help you guys out with kind of building your teams for this Triple Threat Park win streak, you know, today on Sunday. So hopefully guys, you know, get the piece. You know, good luck to everybody grinding in the Triple Threat Park, and I hope everybody does get that Invincible event card. And yeah, hopefully you guys did enjoy this video, and hopefully you guys find it helpful, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.